Howdy folks, I'm Salty Stoat, steadfastly standing for stupendous steeds.
I'm Amber.
And here are more stupendous steeds for us to stand for. I'm not sure why we're standing for them, especially since I think stouts are fish, aren't they?
Probably, I don't know.
Fish with legs now, apparently. They're the longest stout legs that you've ever seen. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Grossly Humiliating My Boyfriend in Front of His Whole Family After He Engagement Pranked Me? I am a 40-year-old female, and my now ex-boyfriend, Keith, a 38-year-old male, and I had problems because of his constant pranks. He has a thing for making his targets look ridiculous. I warned him many, many times that I'm not a forgiving person, and that he was undermining my trust. He laughed it off, and I kept on giving him chances because he has redeeming qualities. He's funny without pranks, acting like a good listener, and he genuinely shows me deference. However, these traits began to fade away, and I don't know why. It kind of shifted. I don't know if showing him love made him think that he could do this. We never had fights, although we did have disagreements, and I tended to clam up if I was really hurt. This has happened twice. Well, the first time was very out of the blue. We attended a gala hosted by our city council. And I'm using quotes here because this isn't a huge city, and galas are looking forward to, but they're not high/upper class, inaccessible types of events. He liked the way that they treated us. I was an actual guest, and he was my plus one, and he asked me if I could help him get an interview as he wanted to launch a small business, and maybe they would be interested. I made no promises, but I got him a meeting that I attended along with him. On our way back, we stopped at a deli and ran into my ex, whom I'm very cordial with. Keith was enraged because I answered my ex's greeting and said that I was too friendly and that I was disrespectful. That lasted for about 10 minutes. We sat in my place to eat our takeout, and he immediately said very inappropriate things about my best friend. I immediately called him out for trying to make me jealous. He laughed it off at first, but I asked what was funny, and he left and took his food. We talked about it later, but a few days later, I realized that he had never really properly apologized. Second, he criticized my outfit and said that I looked ridiculous in it, that I should have dumped him right then and there, but I chose to put it in the back of my mind because I had already a lot on my plate, career and family-wise. I held out hope that we could get back to the way that things used to be. I was never able to shake off that feeling of being hurt, although we seemed to have reached a very stable phase after that. He started with his pranking ways again. First, I caught him trying to hide the birthday cake that I got for my friend. Then, he hid the gas pedal a few times when I was about to get into the car. Well, last week we were at his mother's house for a birthday party. Everything was pretty normal until everyone got quiet. It was just weird. I looked at him and he immediately took a knee. This was the worst feeling. First of all, we had not reached a stage leading to an engagement. Second, I thought that it was likely a prank, but I didn't know how to react. I don't know if he told everyone that he was about to propose, and if they were quiet in honest anticipation, or if they knew, or maybe some of them knew. If he was being honest, I didn't want to say no in front of his family, so I would have probably said yes, and then said no in private. If it was a prank, then he would have to humiliate me in front of over 20 people. So what I did do was I asked what he was doing, and he said I was seeing him and that I knew. I said no, I didn't know. So he insisted. I said, all right, and asked to see what was in the box, and I will act accordingly. Then the fact that he looked off, maybe realizing that he had messed up, maybe wanting to double down, but I'll never know. It was a huge red flag. He opened the box, and he had a beer can tab inside of it. I told him off right then and there. I said that he took a knee to give out junk, just like he tried to win over people to try to get them to sign up for his tacky, insignificant LLC, so that he could push his trash services that he hardly knows how to do. I also mentioned how he lost his job twice and said I fully understand why he couldn't afford a real ring. I asked him if he honestly saw me marrying a man-child. His family were offended. Some of them looked uncomfortable, but some of them acted like I went overboard. He tried to apologize, but I informed him to stick that up his butt and that we were done. Needless to say, it was a garbage show. I had no exit plan because I didn't know that I would have to walk out and I didn't have my car. So I had to walk with his cousins following me, trying to convince me that he didn't mean to hurt me and that it was dangerous for me to walk home alone. I had to walk for about 30 minutes until I found an available Uber. I made a Facebook post explaining what I did and that I couldn't see a future with that guy. His brother's girlfriend and I have a good relationship, and I find her to be very honest and really reasonable. She reached out to check on me and see how I was doing, and to let me know that neither her nor her boyfriend had anything to do with it, and that I had a right to be mad. But she also said that while she has never gotten along with Keith, this is true, ousting him as a workforce failure in front of his family was too much, and that his family were thrown off. I asked what she thought that I should do, since I'm not going to do anything to make him feel better, and that's that. And that if he ever tries to contact me again, I will make sure that things get even more painful, if that's even how he feels. To be honest, I'm embarrassed. I stood up for myself, but I guess I went overboard, and maybe I should have just turned around and walked away. Was I extra for this? All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, OP was a little over the top, but also it doesn't sound like she said anything that wasn't true. And I really think this relationship should have ended a long time ago, though. I think what he did was completely inappropriate. Trying to do a prank engagement isn't cool. And I don't fault Opie for being upset. It sounds like he's been horrible to her for a long time. And again, I go back and forth. Like, she didn't say anything that was untrue. It was a little bit much. Yeah, I kind of waffle a little bit.
I'm going to say everyone's in the wrong a little bit here, right? I think that OP could have just said no, or told him to like take the tab and put it where the sun don't shine type of thing. I wouldn't have a problem with that, right? I think dragging his personal and work life into it was probably a little bit in poor taste, right? They could have gone and just left at that point in time and said, I'm not interested in doing this. I already told you that pranks like this were unacceptable, and you've broken my trust for the last time. We're done, right? I just have a real problem because it wasn't even related to the prank itself. It just felt like she was taking any ammunition she had and flinging it at him. And I mean, she was hurt. I understand that, right? But there are times and places and appropriate ways to deal with hurt. And I just don't know if that was the most appropriate way.
Yeah, like I said, I waffle. I go back and forth on it because, like, I think, how has he been presenting himself to his family? Has he been, like, presenting himself as a big shot to his family, and this is kind of like a reality check, or, like, I don't know. I feel like there's more context needed for me to give a firm judgment.
And that's fair. I mean, I think that's fair. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, because of how controversial this one is, or how hard this one is to judge, let's consult the Wheel of Judgment. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP's earned. You're the jerk with zero self-awareness. I wouldn't go that far, Wheel. I mean, I'm not that far into this one.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the jerk is the Wheel is either the ex-boyfriend or like his bestie.
Yeah, the Wheel is insulted by job type related ones.
Oh, Wheel, are you afraid you're not doing enough at your job?
The Wheel's like, I'm doing a lot at my job. Thank you very much.
I'm the one keeping this show afloat.
Yeah. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Calling Off the Engagement After I Found Out That He Gave Me the Same Ring as His Ex? I had been engaged to my fiance for a few weeks. Recently, I saw an old Facebook post from his ex, and I noticed that she was wearing an engagement ring that looked exactly like the one he gave to me. I was sure that it was the same, so I asked him about it. And just like he had told me before, he told me again that it was a new ring that he spent time picking out just for me. After some conversation, he admitted that it was the same ring that he gave to her, saying it was just sitting around and he thought that it would be easier just to give it to me. I felt hurt and argued that he shouldn't have done it like this. He said that I'm overreacting and I ended the engagement. Am I the jerk for calling it off over this? All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. I mean, I feel like it's in poor taste to use a engagement ring from a failed relationship without the other person's knowledge. But I think the bigger issue here is the deception. He told Opie the story about how he took this time to pick out this ring specially for her. And it turns out it's the ring he picked out for his ex. And when he asked about it, he straight up denied it.
Yeah, in this particular case, like, he explicitly said that he took time to pick it out explicitly for OP. And that was a lie, plain and simple. He's kind of lost OP's trust over this. If he's going to lie about something like this, which isn't even that big of a thing. Like, it would have been a, oh, I just didn't think that you would object to that, right, type of thing. But this is really just in poor taste. Like, he should have given her the option of changing out the ring if she didn't want to have one that was picked out and used by someone else, right? And that's really what this boils down to. And like, maybe she should just be happy about the ring in general, but he wasn't giving her straightforward answers or being honest with her. And I think honesty in a relationship is really important. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Giving My Late Fiance's Ring to My Sister? So this has turned into a huge fight in my family, and I don't know if I'm in the wrong or not. I'm a 30-year-old female, and I lost my fiance, Dorian, 3 years ago in a car accident. It was horrible, and I'm still healing from it. One of the few things that I have left from him is my engagement ring. I don't wear it anymore, but I keep it in a box on my dresser because it means the world to me. Well, last week, my younger sister, Alara, a 26-year-old female, got engaged, and we were super happy for her. But then, she pulled me aside and asked me for a favor. She said that since I'm not using Dorian's ring anymore, I should give it to her so that she can use the diamond for her own ring. I just stared at her and asked if she was serious. She said yes, because it would be a beautiful way to honor Dorian, and also to be practical since diamonds are expensive. I told her absolutely not. The ring is one of the last things I have of Dorian, and I'm not going to give it away. She got upset and said that I was being selfish, since I'm dating someone new now, and said that I should be moving on and letting go of the past. I told her that moving on does not mean erasing Dorian from my life. She started crying, which got my mom involved. My mom immediately took her side and said that holding onto the ring was only keeping me stuck in grief, and giving it to Alara would help me move on and be symbolic. I told them both to drop it, but Alara keeps texting me saying that she deserves a family heirloom just like our cousins got, and that I'm being cruel for keeping it to myself. My boyfriend Cassian is totally on my side here and thinks that Alara is being ridiculous, but half of my family is acting like I'm the bad guy. So am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think?
Well, I can see who the golden child is. I mean, no, OP, you are 100% not the wrong, and the audacity of these people. Like, one, like you said, grieving doesn't mean you remove every trace of someone from your life. Like, you can recover from grief as much as possible and still hold on to mementos of the person who passed. Would they expect you to get rid of everything your grandmother owned if she's deceased? Like, no, that's not how this works. Your sister is greedy and wants your diamond, and your mom is an enabler. And like the whole family heirloom thing, this is not something that's been passed down through the generations. This is a ring that you had for a few years.
Well, I had a question about that family heirloom thing, right? Was this Dorian's family heirloom that the OP got?
I'm guessing it's not. I think what the sister is saying is that the cousins got a family heirloom ring. So cousin got a free engagement ring. So she deserves a free engagement ring. And she's trying to make this out to be a family heirloom to make it an analogous situation.
Yeah, and I mean, if anyone would deserve... So supposing even, for a moment that Dorian's ring was an heirloom, then that should go back to Dorian's family as opposed to OP's sister. So, I mean, I can understand, if the family, Dorian's family was being like, hey, we're really sorry for the loss here. Would you mind, returning the family heirloom ring? We really wanted to keep it in the family, blah, blah, blah. I would think that would still be kind of in poor taste, to be quite honest. But they would have more grounds to request the family heirloom back than OP's sister trying to turn Dorian's ring into a family heirloom so that she can steal the diamond out of it.
Right. Well, she's just being greedy. This whole thing about, keeping his memory alive, yada, yada, yada. You are keeping his memory alive. Your sister would just be stealing the diamond for the sake of having a flashy diamond.
Yeah. And again, like OP said, it's one of the few things that she has of Dorian's. And I think that's really, it's very problematic that the sister is doing this, and it's even more problematic that the mom is supporting the sister in all this.
Well, and it wouldn't matter if she had a whole room of Dorian stuff. At the end of the day,
of course,
this is her ring, and the fact that these other people are trying to pressure her into it so the sister can have a flashy engagement ring. If she wants a giant diamond, I'm assuming this is probably bigger than the diamond she has in her engagement ring. she should have found someone with more money or saved up more money herself, not try and steal her sister's diamond.
Well, that's it. And she can sell something of her own, maybe, if she wants a larger diamond. I mean, that's really kind of what it boils down to. I mean, not everyone can afford a giant diamond, and it's not about the size of the diamond,
Well, it shouldn't be, but
right?
apparently to Opie's sister it is.
I mean, I would understand it if it was like a Coke tab. Maybe she would have more reason to be upset about the ring from her boyfriend. But the fact of the matter is that I don't even know if it sounds like that's the case here, right? It just sounds like she sees OP's wants a bigger diamond and wants to use OP to achieve that goal. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Clarissa Knight 77 says, not the jerk, but if I were you, I would hide the ring in a safe spot. And OP replies, thanks. I mean, I actually think that's good, solid advice.
Yeah.
And Far Information 9613 says, not the jerk, and I would tell them to stop immediately. It's disrespectful, and that I'm blocking them for a week to think about it. If they mention it again, I'm blocking them for a month, and then I'm not going to the wedding. And OP replies, I don't know if I should block them because what if something happens? And then Far Information 9613 says, someone besides your sister or your mother could let you know. You need to set boundaries. This is ridiculous, and I bet that it's not the only example. And OP replies, yeah, probably. Tight Shift 5706 says, and immediately place that ring under lock and key. And Logi Girl 1975 says, this was my first thought. Put that ring in a safe deposit box immediately. And Mysterious Wish 8398 says, I might also threaten to call her fiance and tell them that my sister is so sure that you can't provide a good ring that she's harassing me for my last memento of my dead fiance. Would she really like that? Him knowing that he isn't enough without the right ring. Hopefully that would shame her into stopping it. If he's a grifter too, then you are in major trouble because they are shameless. What do you think of that suggestion?
I mean, yeah, I know. I think it's worth letting her fiance know that she was trying to get her names on this ring, because he should know that. I mean, I don't know if she has the ring yet or not. I kind of assumed that since they were engaged, he probably had given her some kind of ring.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know what her plan is. Just swap out the diamond he gave her for a giant one.
I think that he probably should know, right? And I think that that would be a good idea to kind of loop him into this whole situation. Maybe he kind of is one of these people who gets stomped all over, and so he kind of just takes a step back and lets her do whatever she wants to do, and he'd be like, I don't, it's her up to her or something like that. But I would kind of feel a little insulted if I were him and she was trying to like fix out the diamond on the ring. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Which butterfly reigns supreme?
Oh, I know exactly which butterfly reigns supreme. It's the king butterfly, the king of the butterflies. One might even say it's a monarch of the butterflies.
The monarch, yes.
And that they rule over all the other butterflies with their magical butterfly powers. And so if you ever see a swarm of butterflies coming for you, then know that the king has returned and that they are coming for you specifically. Just the way it is.
That's not how it works. And today, we have a lot of things today.
Oh.
I had a hard time picking. So, National Learn About Butterflies Day.
So go find a book on butterflies.
I mean, I have one on butterflies in Maine and the Canadian Maritime Provinces. So that was one of my big interests last summer, was identifying the butterflies of Maine.
Yes.
It's also, of course, Pi Day.
Pi Day. Yes. 3.14. Very truncated pi.
Yes, very truncated pi. And it's National Write Your Story Day. So if you've been trying to write a story or a memoir or something, today's a great day to work on it.
Yes. Just remember, folks, if you write 300 words a day, at the end of the year, you'll have a novel. And I have Earl Grey. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Fantastic Friday, folks. I hope your Friday is off to a fantastic start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on rings.
Don't prank engaged people, and don't try stealing people's engagement rings.
Yeah, those are great advice pieces. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.